Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Figure Out Films. I'm your host, Chris, as always, and I know we've had a little hiatus, but I figured we'd go ahead and end the year strong with a couple figure reviews to end this new year. Today, speaking of figures that you should be picking up, we are doing a figure review on the brand new My Bloody Valentine NECA figure. Now, this was a figure I was so excited for when it got announced earlier in the year, and now it's finally come out. It's hit the stores. I would go check Target because Target's going to be your best bet for finding these figures. You might be able to check Best Buy as well, but I'm almost positive this is a Target exclusive. Now, with My Bloody Valentine, it's no denying that this is one of the best 80s slasher movies. It's so well made. It holds up even today. Scream Factory put out a recent 4K as well as a Blu-ray a few years ago as well. So definitely, if you like the movie, I would highly recommend picking it up if you didn't own it already. It used to be an out-of-print movie, and now you can get it. With the figure, I think this was a figure that was released again from NECA years ago as the 8-inch cloth. I'm not really into 6 scale, not 6 scale. I'm not really into 1/12 scale figures as cloth. I think they're just too small of a size. I know Mezco puts them out, but they're way more detailed, and you're also paying $100. These are $30 to $35 figures you're buying here, everyone. So the quality is there from NECA because they do care about it, but also they do it as plastic mold, which looks great for posing, very well articulated. With the cloth, I feel like they're just a little bit more restricted. Now, in the back, I do have 1/6 scale Hot Toys. Those are cloth figures, but again, they are bigger figures. And I think with the cloth, it makes it look better, and it works well with that. But with these are 7-inch figures for the most part, and the plastic mold looks great. I've been holding on to this figure since it first came out, and it dropped in Target a couple months ago, like about a month or so ago. So I haven't actually unboxed it, and that's what we're doing today with this. I'm so excited. When you first get it, it does have the original movie poster art. There's more than one way to lose a heart. I think this is beautiful. Now, this is one of NECA's Ultimate editions. It's the Miner, which is the antagonist of the movie. And because it is an Ultimate figure, it's going to have a lot of accessories. Now, a lot of NECA figures do have accessories. The Ultimate one is kind of like your ultimate end-all figure. I know a lot of times they use the word Ultimate, and they release so many different variations of it. And I'm also looking at the Thing. The Thing figures always put out a bunch of Ultimate Kurt Russells, and it's just the same thing with a different costume. So I'm on to you, NECA. But with this is the first ever Miner that's not in the cloth scale, 8-inch, and 8-inch doesn't fit well. I will be honest with you. When you put out these NECA figures and they're 7-inch, they all look great. And if they're bigger, taller figures or actors, it kind of scales well. The 8-inch figures are just a whole different size. I honestly just don't think they look very good. So I'm excited for this one. When you go in the back, you get to see some poses of the figure itself on here, and I think these are really great. However, there are a few discrepancies. It does tell you, and I'll go ahead and read it here in the box. A decades-old folktale surrounding a deranged murderer killing those who celebrate Valentine's Day turns out to be true to a legend when a group defies the killer's order and people start turning up dead. Honestly, very chilling, very good stuff. I recommend, again, watching this movie because I don't think you'd buy this figure without knowing about the movie and loving the movie. This is kind of one of those weird, it's not very much like on the Mount Rushmore. It's not a Freddy, it's not a Jason or Mike Myers. This is a little bit more niche. Or niche, excuse me, and I would recommend this for the horror fan if you are in love with this movie like I am. Now, the discrepancy. It tells you on the bottom what it includes as a pickaxe, drill, knife, candy heart box, and interchangeable hands. It does not have interchangeable hands. I think NECA typoed this for whatever reason. There aren't any alternate hands, which is kind of a bummer because it's the Ultimate Miner and there aren't different hands. That is one little gripe I do have with this figure. Most figures have so many different accessories. There's not as many as for this one. Now, full disclosure, I did pay this full price. NECA did not give this to me for free because one day they will. But I did have a $10 off coupon, and that's kind of what pushed it for me to buy it. Even though I do love this movie, it is a little lackluster. So when you do open up the figure, you get a really cool display photo here of the figure. Again, it has a presence to it, which I love. But then when you go here to the figure itself, there aren't very many accessories. As you can tell, just right out of the box. The window box shows that there aren't many accessories in this thing. Other than that, let's go ahead and go to the table and let's see what's inside the box. As you can see, here's the figure in hand. I think it's a really well detailed figure. Aside from some of the previous releases we got, which feel like they're using the same mold, the same Friday the 13th Part 2 Jason body, this is a different one. It's got multiple pockets in the front. It's got some weight to it. I think they got a new rotator on the arms because it's a nice little swing. I can't go the full 90. It's got some swivel on the boots, the head. I really enjoy this helmet. It moves really well. It's not stiff. As you can see here, though, it does have this little string on here. And the light I'm using makes it look like it's shining, but it's not, which is a little bit of a bummer. The belt here, he's got 2 belts that move with this little tube. Really great stuff. Nice little details there. Again, I think it just feels really good in hand. It's got some weight to it. It can still move. It is a little stiff though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, also when you're moving this thing around for posing, you got to think about this wire that's in the back. I think it's a nice little detail, but whatever. When you bend on the elbows here, it's a little stiff when you first get it. I know this is going to make people worry if you are collectors. I didn't put any blow dryer. I didn't put in hot water or anything. I'm just raw dogging the figure right now with the joints. And it's a little stiff, I'm not going to lie. There's a nice detailing here on the sleeves that show like little folds and wrinkles, which is really nice. Again, I still really like this helmet. It's got some good movement to it. It's not stiff like a couple other figures. I was afraid the movement wouldn't be there. And again, you can see the skin underneath, which is a nice little detail. I do really like this head. It moves well, but I am a little afraid with the wire that's in the back, but at least he can go and kind of like look back a little bit, kind of make like a cool pose. Now, besides the figure you get this little backdrop with all your figures. That's why I say keep the box, because you also get these little backdrops. And it looks like just like a mine in a cave. Nothing too crazy, but if you want them, if you have the shelf space for it to fit the diorama behind it, you have that with it. So it's a nice little detail. Moving on, we do have the first accessory here, which is like the box of chocolate. I know a lot of collectors here don't know what this is, but this is something you get as a gift, for your first or second Valentine's. I'm kidding, I'm teasing, but this is a cool little detail. It's the box of chocolates, but the problem is because there are no interchangeable hands, the miner can't really grab this accessory, and it drives me nuts. You could try and see if you can get like maybe a little edge on it with the finger, but nope, he's gonna have to tuck it away like this, which is really disappointing. I wish we had extra hands for it. The next thing here is like this nail gun from the movie. It looks like looks like a megaphone in a way, but it's not. It's kind of like a flashlight, I believe. And here's what's really annoying: when you try to put it in its hand on the right arm, it doesn't really work. I'm really having to force this thing to get in, and I'm getting a little nervous while doing this. And it looks a little goofy like this, even though this is the arm that I think the hand's supposed to be holding it. I don't think it fits well like that. Now here, the knees are really stiff. I'm trying to get it straight in the hand in the movement, but it doesn't work. But when I take it off and I put it on the left hand side, which has a little bit more, you can fit more in that hand and so grab things, it looks so much better. I think the left hand is like the way to go with this accessory. It looks so much better, especially if you straighten it out here, fix like the arm. It works a lot better. I think it looks good. There's some good movement there. I think this is a figure that you gotta move around and actually play with a little bit and loosen the joints. The next accessory here is this knife. We get so many different knives with our NECA figures, and I mean, it's cool. It's shorter than any of the other ones, but I'll be honest, I'll probably put on my Scream ones. But here's the thing again, it doesn't fit in the right hand. It fits only on the left, which is really, really frustrating because we only get this pair of hands. That's it. And there's the knife right there. Nothing too crazy. When it stands, I mean, it's a good platform figure. You're not going to need a stand too much for very museum-like poses. And then finally, here's the big one. We got the pickaxe. Now, I will say this is a little different from the pickaxe from the Friday the 13th, Part 2. I do like this pickaxe. I think it looks really great with the figure. Obviously uses it in the movie. Now, here's going to be the difficulty here is going to get the two hands on it. But again, let me go ahead and loosen this up because I do want some dynamic poses with this pickaxe. And I don't cringe too much while I'm bending these knees. Anyway, this looks good. Let's get him on the rotating base. And there we have it. In this awesome dynamic pose, I do have it with the stand for it. You will need it for dynamic poses. I really like this one. I like how he's kind of leaning in, ready to slash. Again, I love how the head isn't very stiff. It can move really well. This thing's got a lot of shelf presence, everyone. I'm not going to lie. This is definitely something. If you love the movie, you're going to be in love with this. Again, the plastic looks great. Just has such a presence on it. Another pose here. There's more museum pose with more of the accessories. Very cool stuff. I don't know. What does everyone think about this? Like, is this a figure you think you'd pick up? Is this a must-buy if you're a fan or not? I love having the box behind it as well. I just think it adds more of a different dimension to the figure itself. Again, here with the little heart-shaped box, I wish it had the hands that hold it better, but I guess this is the best you can do. I think this is a great thing. But what do you all think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this, please drop the subscribe button, give us a like. We really appreciate the support here. What are some other NECA figures you'd like to see reviewed in the near future? Let me know down below. And again, here's going to be the pose I'm going to stick with for this figure. I love just holding the box and then the little knife there. But other than that, my name is Chris here at Figure Out Films. And remember, if you are not buying NECA figures this holiday season, do you really care about cinema? Other than that, I'll see you next time.